A new way to get the latest Poconos ski updates right on your mobile device. Plus the history of skiing these mountains. And Pike County's own shares his Pocono perspective. The new freebie on the Pocono Beverage Trail, and a taste of what's served up at this timeless inn and bar.
Salt and serenity, how these caves bring calmness. Plus a super hornet and a super speedway. Find out what the two have in common.
Hello everyone, welcome to the January edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm Brianna Strunk. Check it out. The Blue Angels are part of a very special event coming to the Pocono Mountains this summer, and it's just one of many events on tap in our region for 2023.
That's right, Brianna. The Great Pocono Raceway Airshow Memorial Day weekend will feature these guys, the Blue Angels, with a need for speed right over the tricky triangle. So as she mentioned, that's one of many events in store for you this 2023 calendar year. But first, before we get to the rest of the show, let's show you what's been making headlines in the Poconos.
The Pocono Mountains again on the cover of Philadelphia Magazine, this time as a winter escape, featuring dozens of ways to spend the season outdoors, indoors, and sampling the Pocono Beverage Trail. More on that trail later in the show. But you can check out those articles online. Just head to PoconoMountains.com and search for In the News.
3, 2, 1!
Speaking of winter, Camelback Resort held a ribbon cutting on its opening day for the season to celebrate the addition of Black Bear 6, the new high-speed 6-person enclosed lift that can transport up to 3,000 skiers and snowboarders per hour.
3, 2, 1!
And over at Jack Frost Big Boulder, another ribbon cutting to celebrate their 50th and 75th anniversaries respectively, plus the addition of 5 new ski lifts across both resorts.
New at 11, planning to take a family vacation to Mount Airy Resort in Monroe County? Think again.
And Mount Airy Casino Resort is now 21 and older only. The requirement includes the hotel, restaurant, spa, and pool area in addition to the casino. Again, to check out the stories online, head to PoconoMountains.com and search for it in the news.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Hamill here with our friends Rachel Wyckoff from Shawnee Mountain Ski Area and Justin Conti, our super intern at the PTN. And we got ourselves a new feature here in the Poconos this year for skiers and snowboarders. It's called Ski Text. And so Rachel, I'm gonna sign up for the Shawnee Ski Text. All I gotta do is type Shawnee, send it to this number, and now I'm going back and forth with Shawnee to find out the latest and greatest on what's happening at the mountain. Let's have some fun today. All right, guys, we made it to the top of Shawnee Mountain Ski Area for the beginning of the 22-23 ski season. It's going to be a great one, especially because the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau has partnered with Ski Text, so you can keep up to date on what's happening at these resorts like Blue Mountain Resort,
Ski Big Bear,
and Shawnee.
So all you got to do is text that number, and then you get the messages on your mobile device, which will give you things like which trails are open, which lifts are open, and what the trail conditions are like. So the best part about it, guys, is that it's totally free, and it helps skiers and snowboarders have a great season on the slopes. So let's go test it out.
Let's get to it.
Let's go.
Just text the word ski to 844 Ski Text. You'll sign up for free for mountain updates, lift ticket purchases, special events, and exclusive offers, like this one from Shawnee Mountain Ski Area.
We have a free 2 lift tickets coming for the first 500 users to sign up, so you're gonna wanna sign up. Great deal.
I got my iPhone out and texted Shawnee to the number, and within moments, I had a response. The menu includes tickets, conditions, events, and food at Shawnee for starters. More options will come online over the coming weeks and months.
So we're really excited to offer this feature this year to our skiers. It's just a whole new way to communicate with our guests. We can tell them everything from what promotions we have going on to what trails are open, or if anything has to close or change. It's just such a great tool for us to reach our guests at last minute's notice, as well as a week in advance of their arrival.
Shawnee plans to have codes to scan around the resort for skiers and snowboarders to learn more and sign up. While shredding Lookout and back up on the lift, we were able to check out which events are planned this season at Shawnee and which trails were open for some downhill fun. Again, all you need is your mobile phone. Send a text to 844-SKI-TEXT and you'll be able to get updates on the fly for Shawnee, Ski Big Bear, and Blue Mountain Resort. The first 500 people to sign up at Shawnee get 2 free lift tickets too. It's totally free and will keep you in the know while you're out on the slopes this season and in the future.
All right, Justin, snow's coming down, man. What's your thoughts about your first time at Shawnee?
Shawnee is awesome. The texting app was great. I live an hour away, so I was able to check the conditions. Skiing in the snow is great. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's a great new feature here for 3 of the ski resorts in the Pocono Mountains, Blue Mountain, Ski Big Bear, and right here at Shawnee. So head to PoconoSki.com to find out everything you need to know about the ski text option here for skiers and snowboarders this season. Plus, it's totally free.
The best.
The best, man. Thanks for skiing with us here.
Yeah, of course.
We'll see you out there on the slopes. It's Jim Hamill for PTN, along with Justin Conti and Rachel from Shawnee. Have a good one.
Now for Deanna Fontanez, our newest host on Pocono Mountains Magazine. Deanna has a great look at the history of skiing in the Poconos. Happy New Year, everyone.
The Pocono Mountains, located in Pennsylvania, have long been known as one of the top ski destinations on the East Coast. But it wasn't always that way. We're going to take you on a quick history of skiing in the Poconos, how it started and how it's evolved over the years. After World War II, soldiers brought their wives to the Poconos, and it suddenly became known as the honeymoon capital of the world. Originally, the Poconos were an outdoor destination that allowed couples to spend time together in a beautiful wooded environment. In 1946, Big Boulder became the first commercial ski area in Pennsylvania. In 1956, a patented snowmaking device started covering the ski runs with man-made snow. Today, this capability helps to keep the Pocono snow season open, typically from November to April. By the 1960s, this opportunity for great skiing became a destination for honeymooners and skiers. The early 70s saw the addition of more skiing mountains, which meant construction of slopes, lifts, buildings, and snowmaking equipment. The boom had begun. Average ticket costs to ski were $6 a day. By the late 1970s, 6 ski resorts were in full operation with functioning lodges, multiple lifts, and trails for beginners to experts. Learn to ski programs became a popular activity. Skiing continued to become more popular in the 80s and 90s, and the Pocono ski destination grew with the demand. Today, the Pocono Mountains is the premier East Coast destination for skiing and snowboarding. Family-friendly accommodations, delicious cuisines of all kinds, the choice of over 100 trails, and nationally recognized ski schools brings people from the entire country to enjoy the offerings of the Pocono Mountains. So come and enjoy our beautiful ski resorts in the Pocono Mountains. You'll make memories for a lifetime. For more information, go to PoconoSki.com.
Salt and serenity. Find out what the two have in common coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
And an update on the Pocono Beverage Trail. What kind of gear you can get now that you're racking up the check-ins at spots like Tavern and Barley Creek.
Jim Hamill and Brianna Strunk will be right back with more Pocono Mountains Magazine. A special thanks to our sponsors, St. Luke's Monroe Campus, East Stroudsburg University, and Lehigh Valley Hospital, Pocono.
Here are some tips on ways to spend more time skiing and snowboarding on the slopes this year.
All these Pocono Mountain ski resorts have very easy entry. Pay your tickets online, then put your RFID card in your pocket and walk through the line. It's that simple.
This is the time for you and your family to learn to ski and board.
And you know, it's an amazing activity that'll make memories for a lifetime. So please visit us at PoconoSki.com.
guys, Brianna Strunk here. You know I love my wellness experiences, so today I wanted to show you around 2 salt caves in the Poconos, starting here in Mount Pocono. Let's go check it out. Lounge in a chair and breathe in the air, just like you're at the beach, only your feet will be covered in salt, not sand.
It's a place where you come in and you're gonna feel at home and you're gonna feel at ease.
Here at Crystal Garden, Metaphysical, and Salt Cave in Mount Pocono, the floors and walls are covered in Himalayan salt. While this machine disperses pure medical-grade salt throughout the room. Halotherapy, or dry salt therapy, is said to have spiritual and physical benefits.
Right away, it helps you with breathing, allergies, snoring. It helps with the skin. It helps to bring that glow, and it helps with eczema, acne.
Since opening in early 2022, this salt cave has become a popular place to simply sit and relax for 45 minutes, even meditate or read a book. You can also schedule a massage, Reiki, or sound healing session, or a guided meditation. Afterwards, pick up some products from the Crystal Shop to continue your wellness experience at home. Even attend educational workshops.
It's definitely a delightful feeling to be able to help people and inspire them. To teach them also that crystals are tools, but you are the #1 tool.
What an awesome place. Of course I have to take home a gift. And now I want to show you around a second salt cave in another part of the Poconos. It's a little under an hour away in Honesdale.
And go ahead and move your awareness to your internal world. Scan from the crown of your head down to your toes.
Here at Northern Light Salt Cave, a peaceful yoga session is underway.
This place has a naturally relaxing environment, so when you do breathing practices and meditation practices here, it kind of magnifies the benefit of the breath and the meditation work.
Now, let's pretend to make a snowball. So gather up some snow around you. Make a nice big snowball. Pat it, pat, pat, pat. Pat it on the other side.
There are kids' classes too.
Children's yoga is a lovely space where we can pull kids in and give them the knowledge of how to connect movement with stillness so that they can learn about the mind-body connection, and they can just really begin to have the skills to move internally.
Based inside Northern Light Counseling Center in Honesdale, the Salt Cave is open to all and has especially helped clients battling depression, anxiety, and trauma.
And I think putting a spa-like service into a mental health facility opens up the doors for everyone to be able to gain the benefits of this type of treatment.
Man-made salt caves are meant to mimic salt mines dating back to the 1800s. Miners who had regular exposure to the salt noticed its health benefits.
There's really nothing you have to do when you're in here to reap the benefits of halotherapy, and so we just try to make it as relaxing and comfortable as possible.
Calming caves where salt brings serenity. With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine, the historic Dimmick Inn is serving up food and drink in the heart of Milford. Find out what's on the menu for your next night on the town.
Plus, we sit down with Commissioner and historian Matt Osterberg to discuss the history and culture of Pike County.
Want to learn to ski? The Pocono Mountains is the place to be. With lessons for every age, you'll be skiing or snowboarding in no time. Learning is fun, and the views are beautiful. Choose from 6 amazing ski areas. Learn more at poconoski.com.
Hi everyone, you're watching PTN. Thanks for being here first of all. PTN is the Pocono Television Network. One of the cool things we get to do is we get to talk to the folks who operate our businesses here and host the thousands and thousands of folks who visit us every year. And this is one of the best places in Pike County. It's the Dimmick Inn, located in Milford, again in Pike, and we're happy to be here with the owner, Andrew. Andrew, how long have you guys been here? It's been a while.
We've been here 14 years. Dimmick Inn's been here since 1828, which is 194 years. We're still running strong, having fun, cooking, doing what we do, and that's where we're at right now.
And you guys do a really, really great job of that. I know right behind us, you guys have a great pizza oven. The pizza here is top rate. You and I were talking beforehand a little bit just about some of the other stuff that you guys specialize in. Can you tell us about that?
Sure, we have the wood-fired pizza, obviously big seller. Everything on the menu really is seasonal, so we try to bring in new items, winter, spring, and fall. Summer items become more salads and more healthy items.
What I really love about this is the outside seating. So you have indoor and outdoor, right?
We do. We seat about 100 inside. When the porch is open, we seat about another 60 to 70 guests.
One of the things I think was really fascinating, you said you were here 194 years.
Nah.
What were some of the things this property was over that time period?
It was an inn. It was a stagecoach, which had a post office as well.
A stagecoach like depot?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So Samuel Dimmick, who was the actual owner at the time, had a daughter named Fanny. And Fanny took over the business.
I understand she's been a guest since.
She's still a guest. She hasn't left yet, so she's been here since the beginning.
Since 1828?
1828, maybe
Okay.
before, that's as far as I know. And once in a while, we'll feel her go through, definitely.
How do you feel her go through?
We've seen orbs, we've seen some things happen here, people walking past when there's nobody there.
So she's a friendly guest?
She's a friendly guest.
Very friendly. She likes to have guests.
Loves it. Make sure we keep the building tip-top shape, and that's what we do.
You and I were talking a little bit beforehand about when you were at the bar and there was nobody. What was that one
Yes,
about?
it was me, my brother, and another employee. We were closed, and something we heard upstairs above the bar, which is a lounge area, full. So I was like, nobody's here, so we went upstairs, opened the door, and a four-legged chair was on the floor. Right there, we started saying, this is real.
So you've actually, when you were in the basement too, you felt something?
Basement, I've seen her walk past us plenty of times. She's just trying to get to her destination, I think.
How long has it been operated as a restaurant? Do you know that?
Since 1828. I mean, it's always been a bar, restaurant. It's been through a couple of different hands. We purchased it in 2008 from Ed and Karen Loshon, and ever since then we've had it, which is 14 years now.
So you just went through really significant renovation, right?
We did. We just did the whole kitchen over, brand new, all new hood systems. The bar was replaced as well, but kept the character. Brought back the tin ceiling to the original tin, I should say. A lot of other work as well. We did the floors, brought in a beautiful pizza oven, as you see. Everything's going well.
So then the ceilings are like the original colors of what somebody would have come and had seen in 1828,
right? Exactly. I have pictures of them actually with that color.
Where did the guests in the 1820s when they came here, were they coming through from New York, or do you know that?
They were coming from everywhere. This is a big destination spot for which it is now too. And from what I know, they came from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
So what do you see as being next for the Dimmick Inn in the future?
It's we're just taking it day by day and seeing what people need, what they want. I think we're trying to give them everything they need, and it's working. It's working so far. People seem to be happy.
Well, 194 years, I would say a lot of people are happy. Andrew, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it and sharing all these moments with us, because that's what our guests really love. And just as a reminder, we're at the Dimmick Inn in Milford, which is one of the premier properties here in the Pocono Mountains. The menu is amazing, the pizza, the burgers, all that kind of stuff, the seasonal things you may be able to get here. And Andrew told me just before, there's also a lot of seasonal craft brews here too, like say from Well and Paul Pack Brewing. So you got to come here and enjoy it. You'll probably see Andrew, he's around all the time. So for the Pocono Television Network, I'm Chris Barrett. We'll always appreciate the fact that you're watching. Have a great day.
We love sharing unique stories from all across the Pocono Mountains. And now, PTN contributor Christina Luna, who you recognize from past episodes of Pocono Mountains Magazine, is hosting a brand new mini-series all about the people behind small businesses. She'll take a close look at who those owners and operators are, what obstacles they've overcome, and ultimately what has led to their success. Small business owners here in the Poconos are all unique, diverse, and have compelling stories to share. Let's take a sneak peek from one of Christina's first stops.
Get the scoop on the exotic flavors of Latin America at Llama Ice Cream.
This new mini-series is coming soon to the Pocono Television Network, our 24/7 travel channel. Stream anytime and learn about all the different ways to watch on PoconoTelevision.com.
Coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine, Chris Barrett sits down with the commish, a fountain of knowledge for Milford and the surrounding Pike County.
The iconic Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond is covered in snow this time of year, but this place will look a lot different Memorial Day weekend of 2023. Those details coming up on Pocono Mountains Magazine.
It just goes to show what can be done if you have the right surgeons and the right doctors.
Because I was concerned with the mass that I saw in her abdomen, I knew she just needed to go to surgery as soon as possible.
The diagnosis was one cancer appendiceal, and whatever need I would have, I knew she was going to address it. That impressed me.
At the Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute, we have a team of experts who are specialty trained in their field.
Best word I can find, phenomenal.
The Pocono Mountain is the birthplace to a Pocono wonderland of untold pleasure.
Winter in the Poconos, clear and crisp.
Called the land of the waterfall.
A recipe for romance.
So what is a county commissioner and why are you one?
So a county commissioner is the administrative arm of county government. We deal with the financial aspects of the county. We fund everything. Our role is, like I say, is quality of life. There's 3 of us, me and 2 other county commissioners, operate that entire section of the county government. There, of course, is the judicial system, which our role with that is funding. But mainly we deal with human services, the correctional facilities, all of these things that deal with the life of the residents of the county.
And you're the commission chair, correct?
I am the commissioner chair, have been for 8 years now.
How is a county commission set up in Pennsylvania? You know, there are different classes of county, right? So how does that work?
Well, we are a class 6 county because that's all controlled by the population of your county. We sit at 58,000 people, so we're on the low side of a class 6 county. We live in a relatively small county. 58,000 people spread over 550 square miles is really not that, it's a big county with not really a lot of people. So there's a lot of open space here in this county, which is what makes Pike County so enjoyable to reside in.
We're so fortunate today to be with Matt Osterberg. He's the commission chair of the Pike County Commissioners. We're having a conversation on Pocono perspectives. So Matt, tell us why you are a commissioner and what you do before that.
So I always was involved in local government and local initiatives, so becoming a county commissioner seemed like my next step in my career as a local official. Prior to this, besides I had a job at Lohr's Hardware for 35 years, and then I was also, at the age of 28, I became the borough councilman, and by the age of 30, I was the borough president. I served in that position in Milford Borough for 25 years. Over that time, I also was became the borough historian. Serving on that board, though, was an extreme interest because I served with many older gentlemen at that time. I was younger, 28 years old. They were my age now, but these were longtime residents whose families had been here for generations. And just hearing their stories about Pike County and the stories that they heard from their grandparents just interested me even more in Pike County history. I'm a Penn State graduate in history, so that really played into what I went to school for. So, listening to people like Merritt Quinn tell the story of his grandmother sitting in 1889 at the 100th anniversary of the Constitution, the setting of the monument on Sarah Street. These are coming from people who heard this from their grandmothers about what it was like to be living in Milford Borough then. And how quaint and beautiful a town this is, and how it developed into what the town is now, which is still a quaint little beautiful town, which is also maybe the cornerstone, because it's the county seat, of a quaint little county like Pike County. There was so much more of a story in not just Pike County, but the whole entire region, whether that would be New York or New Jersey, and how we all played into developing this region. It wasn't just Milford that did that, it was all of Pike County.
You mentioned 1879, 1889, and we talked a lot about this beforehand, but take us back maybe 150, 200 years before that. What would Pike County have looked like? Who would have been here at the time? And how did it develop into where we're at right now?
So the Pike County region that we know as Pike County now was settled firstly in 1732 by the Quick family. You know, here prior to that and during that same time were the Lenape Nation. The Native American Indians were here. This is with their settlement. You know, there's lots of stories about what went on between the two. And by 1796, the real region of Milford Borough is developed and laid out by Judge John Bittis.
So one person owned the whole borough?
One person owned the whole borough. The streets are named after his children. The alleys are either named after berries or fruit trees. By 1814, Pike County becomes its own county, and it becomes Pike County, named after Zebulon Pike, who was a hero in the War of 1812. So in 1814, Milford Borough becomes the county seat. Influx of people start to come in here. Pike County is formed, and here's the county government now in Milford Borough. We have a population then of maybe 6,000 people, you know, and it becomes a tourist area.
Some of the folks watching might hear some squeaking in the background. It's because of the building we're in right now, which is a beautiful building, the community house here in Milford. Folks are really working in it. There are a lot of offices, and you've had such a huge part to play in this building where we're located now. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So this building was originally owned by the Pinchot family. The Pinchot family came to this region of Pennsylvania in around 1814. They then developed a business here, selling just general goods in the region. They lived on this property that we're sitting in right now. This is the Milford Community House. The story is that it was originally the Dimmick Inn. They moved here, they rented part of the building from the Dimmick family, and then over time they became owners of this. But it was sat on a different side of the street.
It was moved by horse teams, correct? And wagons. Is that right?
It would have been moved in the 1890s, so it sat in the other corner for a number of years where they lived.
Where was the community house 5 years ago, and where are we today in the building we're sitting in?
It served very well as the Pike County Public Library for nearly 100 years. 5 years ago, the Pike County Public Library built a new facility just down the street. So now the board of directors, which I serve on as the president of the Milford Community House, had to find a use for this building. So we partnered with organizations like Pocono Mountain Visitor Bureau, Economic Development Authority, and instead of having them located in different buildings in the county, we said, why don't you come here, become a partner with us, help us share in the expenses. So now we renovated the building. The Community House Board was able to raise funds. We spent right now probably about $500,000 fully renovating this building back to 1890s. It's an absolutely beautiful building. I know that everybody's happy that has their home here, like yourselves, and we welcome people to come here. So, you know, this was a passion of mine to see this happen. Again, this is leaving a legacy in this community because it's the history of our community, and you know, and celebrating the Pinchos is really important for everybody in this county. If they haven't been to Great Towers or they haven't been to the Visitor Center or Forest Hall, you really need to go there, and you really need to see what importance that they created this legacy. I didn't. All we did as a board is we just enhanced it and made sure that it's going to be here for another 100 years.
So that's why I want to ask the two questions there. The Pinchos, Great Towers. So that really is a connection not only to this area in Pennsylvania, but to the whole United States. So tell us a little bit about Great Towers, and I want to get back to what the Pinchos did here for the community, but tell us a little bit about Great Tower.
So James Pinchot has a son, Gifford Pinchot. He talks to his son about becoming a forester. Forestry in the United States in the 1880s is relatively new science. It's already a science in Europe. He sends his son over to Europe at times to study. He then goes to Yale University, and there they form the first Yale School of Forestry. And Gifford comes out with a degree in forestry. But Gifford's view on forestry is also for conservation. His view is that the forest can be used as a productive crop. That we can raise trees, we can cut trees down, we can use them into the development and use them for a renewable resource. He develops that whole science, and he becomes the first chief of the U.S. Forest Service under William McKinley, and then later under Theodore Roosevelt.
And Roosevelt, did he visit? He was here?
Theodore Roosevelt did visit here. They were quite good friends. Theodore Roosevelt believed in that same philosophy of conservationism. And Gifford Pinchot leads the charge in that. That's why there's many U.S. forests throughout the nation. There's a couple of them named the Gifford Pinchot Forest out west. I think there's some state forests that are named after Gifford Pinchot. He plays an integral part in conservation. In fact, Milford is listed as the home of conservation because of his role in producing, making people aware of that we can have natural resources, we can use them, but we need to also conserve them and also figure out a way to renew them and make sure that they're renewable.
You've written 4 books about Pike County and various places within Pike County, and a lot of them have kind of related to the subjects you just talked about, like the D&H, correct? So it seems like the Poconos early on in U.S. history really contributed to the Industrial Revolution, right?
There is no doubt that the D&H Canal drove the Industrial Revolution. So the D&H Canal is a hand-dug canal, first started in 1823, and by 1828 or 1826, it's fully operational. It's 107 miles long with 107 locks. It is an incredible story of ingenuity and engineering feat that is just, if people don't know about it, they should certainly learn about it, because Honesdale, before this canal is built, literally has a small handful of people living there. It's called Dyeberry. Honesdale, named after Philip Hones, who is the first president of the D&H Canal. He's also at that time the mayor of New York City. So this was a massive amount of money that was brought into this region to dig this. This was private funding. The story is that the D&H Canal is the first $1 million corporation in the nation. The Warts brothers, who owned this corporation on their own, hired J.B. Jervis, that's what Port Jervis is named after, and they build this canal. They also build a gravity railroad. At the height of their business, they are moving 4 million tons of coal a year. So this is an incredible amount of industrial that's moving through, and American products, not just coal, wood, bluestone, everything is going down that canal.
When did the industrial piece of the economy here in the Poconos really start to decline, and when did we start to see change, not only for Pike, but the balance of the Poconos?
You know, the canal is bringing lots of resources and lots of economic development into this region. Every town I've just mentioned to you, there's a lot of money. Over that time then, the D&H also realizes that the railroad is becoming very important. Now we move into tourism. You know, by the 1850s, Pike County has massive amounts of tourist hotels, and that's another whole industry.
Was there something that started that, the tourism process?
In the summertime, it would be hot in these cities. They needed to find a place to have a respite. And what better place to come to than the mountains of the Poconos? So I think it was more that they just wanted to be a relaxing area to come to. In 1920, the residents were about 900. But in the summertime, the population of Milford Borough went to 5,000 people. That's how many hotels and rooms there were just in this little, half a square mile little town. Tourism was an incredible economic driver here, as it is today. You know, it's our #1 employer. It drives every other business in this community to this day, as it did 150 years ago.
Well, I think, Matt, you, above everyone, are so responsible for carrying that legacy forward for successive generations. And before we wrap, which I hate to do because I think we could talk all day, I love history. You're just such a wealth of knowledge. I'm going to ask you to look in your crystal ball as a historian and as a county commissioner. And if you were to come back 100 years from now and visit Milford again, which I'm sure you'd love to do, what do you think you'll find here?
I think what we will find is we will find Milford to be in the same condition it is now, which is, and hopefully better with the preservation of what we all have. Everybody loves history. You know, I use a term many times when we talk about the development of the county. We need to have economic development. We need to have new facilities built. We need to make sure the quality of life, whether that's medical services. But the one thing we need to respect is we don't want to pave over paradise. You know, I know that's words from a song, but that's a really telling story that we don't want that to occur here. So I think what I'll see in 100 years, if I was able to come back, is I think I'll see Milford just in the condition it is here right now. You know, we have, Milford Borough has put in some very strong ordinances for preservation of buildings, and it wasn't an easy task to do that. And I was involved in that back in 1999 because people are very sensitive about property rights and that. But at the same time, when we do that, we have to remember when we preserve these buildings, we preserve history, and what we do to one building affects the building next door. Everything is tied together here, and we need to continue to do that in this community. So 100 years, I envision Milford, the Dimmick Inn will still be here. People can go over there and have a beer. People like you and I will be still sitting in this room, and it'll just be the same quaint little community it is today.
I really have a lot of faith that it will be, but I think people like you who devoted their life to public service and to their communities are, and I think the thousands, millions of guests that have come here are the beneficiaries of that. And I thank you so much, Matt, for spending this time with us today. And we're so fortunate to have spoken today with Matt Osterberg. He is the chair of the Pike County Commissioners. He is Milford Borough historian. He's written books, and we will show you those books. If you have a chance, you need to buy them. They tell a great story just like Matt does. Matt, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Chris.
This episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine is dedicated to Robert Ugassini, one of the region's strongest advocates and tourism leaders who passed away in November 2022. Mr. Pocono, as he was known, served as executive director of the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau for 40 years through 2007 and played a major role in making the Poconos a top destination. Scan this QR code on your screen to learn more about his life and legacy.
The team that we have put together of sport performance coaches and athletic trainers is why parents should choose St. Luke's University Health Network for their sport performance needs.
St. Luke's and our coaches are going to provide the safest and most comprehensive training environment that a student athlete would want. And I don't think there's anything in this area that can rival it.
Cheers, everyone. Jim Hamill here on the Pocono Beverage Trail yet again, and we're at Log Tavern Brewing Company here in Milford. Relatively new spot here in the Poconos, and we've got places that have been here for 20 years or longer. But here on the Beverage Trail now, you can get yourselves some new swag if you check in at all these different places with your Pocono Beverage Trail digital passport. Make sure you check that out online at PoconoBeverageTrail.com. We wanted to share the stories behind the scenes here at Log Tavern and at Barley Creek Brewing Company down in Tannersville. Check this out. From the minute the taps opened at Log Tavern Brewing Company in Milford, Ryan Scott and his crew have been pouring the good stuff along the Sawkill Creek, one of more than 24 stops along the Pocono Beverage Trail.
Got my start basically homebrewing since probably early mid-2000s. Just got my start, had a passion for it, and it just turned into what started as a hobby just became my obsession, and it just grew from there basically.
His obsession is now a craft beer brand well worth visiting any time of year, especially when you're looking to cash in on the surrounding downtown Milford events, or just immerse yourself in all the outdoor activities centered around town.
Milford Borough in general, there's just always a lot of events going on, a lot of town-wide events. We do a big Oktoberfest here that's a pretty big hit here in Milford. The proximity to all those good things that people want to do outdoors, and we're situated right in the heart of all of that.
Speaking of the heart of the Pocono Beverage Trail, that title would have to reside here in Tannersville at Barley Creek Brewing Company, the first craft brewery to open in the Poconos back in 1995. And owner Trip Rouvain has expanded the ballgame ever since.
We're having fun. We had fun 27 years ago, and we're going to keep doing it, for years to come.
PTN caught up with Trip barside on that 27th anniversary, sharing a pint of the Rescue IPA, Barley Creek's flagship beer.
So when we opened up in '95, I think a craft beer was considered Yingling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we actually had to convince people what a craft beer was.
Now, craft beer is a huge industry, and Barley Creek is situated in the center of that Pocono Beverage Trail with its own spirits distilled here too. Wiffle ball field, s'mores dining campsites, and lots to offer guests whether it's during ski season or spring, summer, and fall.
I looked at the big picture of the beverage trail, and there are sections where I want to go up north, there are sections where I want to go south, and when you look at the beverage trail, we're right in the heart of it. So you can go up north and finish here, you can start here and go south.
North would have to be the path you get back to Log Tavern in Milford, where Ryan Scott and his not-so-elusive Yeti have rotating beers on the taps and fires roasting up back for a unique experience on the Beverage Trail.
I think we have 14 beers right now and one hard cider. Good mix of everything. A couple New England IPAs, the West Coast IPA. We got one stout right now. More to come as we hit stout season here.
Yeah, I'm a stout guy too.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
All joking aside, Log Tavern can be the start or end of a beverage trail journey along the Route 6 corridor between Honesdale, Hawley, Lake Wallenpaupack, Greentown, and Milford. And Log Tavern is no stranger to working with other brewers to create something to sip on.
All the breweries in the Poconos, we try and work with each other. We do a collaboration with Hopping Eagle Brewery and Wallenpaupack Brewing and a group called Sons of the Hunt. We do a beer called Beyond the Pines. It's a spruce tip New England IPA kind of variation.
Whether it's Log Tavern, on the scene a few years, or Barley Creek a few decades, the Beverage Trail now gives users the chance to sample craft beer all across the Poconos. Wine and spirits, too. And score a free hat like this one with enough check-ins at trail locations. Redeem this hat at Insurrection Distilling, the Wake Zone, a Wallenpaupack Brewing tap room near the lake, or Barley Creek, where it all began.
I've always believed, the fraternity, the sorority of these brew pubs and brewers is a good thing. And it's a good thing for Pennsylvania. It brings in new industry, high-paying industry. It actually gives us, an ability to say, not only are we foodies, but we know what we're doing with beer.
Trip Ruvain from Barley Creek Brewing Company. Cheers to you and your team here. You guys do a fantastic job. Stop in on the Pocono Beverage Trail. Make sure you check in here. You get cool swag like this free hat right here.
Yeah.
But you could also get really great food, really great service, and be a local.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers.
To get your digital passport for the Pocono Beverage Trail, head to PoconoBeverageTrail.com. And please, drink responsibly. Jim Hamill for the Pocono Television Network.
All eyes on the sky. More from the special appearance ahead of the special event you won't want to miss.
For a warm welcome and refreshing wine, Three Hammers Winery really delivers.
The hops in 2nd District Brew Farm are grown right here.
At Insurrection Distillery, you'll get a big city feel in our small town setting. Your trail awaits you. Make it whatever you want. Wineries, breweries, or distilleries.
I've always wanted to craft a trail.
Of course you do. Visit PoconoBeverageTrail.com.
At East Stroudsburg University, you will study with cutting-edge technology. You can perform in the classroom, field, or stage. You'll get involved on campus and off. You can have fun preparing for your future.
Here at the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, the action is typically centered around the track. But coming up in just a few months, it will be all eyes on the sky. Not a sight you see every day. The U.S. Navy Blue Angels touched down with Tricky in tow to promote their headlining act in the Great Pocono Raceway Airshow, taking flight Memorial Day weekend of 2023.
This is the first time we're ever going to be here at the Pocono Raceway, so we're incredibly excited. I think it's going to be a fantastic show, and we're just really excited to get here and start this planning process.
Known for its NASCAR events and family-friendly atmosphere, the Pocono Raceway is the perfect place for an air show with spacious grandstand seating and unobstructed views. The Tricky Triangle last hosted an air show in 2021, with the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds and other great performers giving quite the show.
We kind of look at ourselves as a very unique venue that can be a multi-purpose venue. I think we always have a little bit of a penchant for speed and excitement. That's sort of in our DNA, so an air show fits right into that.
The Great Pocono Raceway Air Show is the only place in the country's northeast region where you can see the Blue Angels perform this year. And although hundreds of women have served with the Blue Angels in various capacities over the years, Lieutenant Amanda Lee recently became the team's first ever female F-18 fighter pilot. She'll be at the forefront of the daring performance fans will see.
Man, the diamond formation, they fly closer than anyone in the entire world, and they do some maneuvers that no other jet demonstration can do in the world. And I think she actually put it best when people ask this question. She's like, what is it like, or what's it going to be? And she's like, the airplane doesn't care what gender you are, what religion, what anything, it's just the person in there, and you're manipulating the controls. So she's a fantastic pilot, and we're excited to have her.
Let's get it, all right? 6 laps on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Through air shows and community outreach efforts, the Blue Angels work to raise awareness for the United States Navy and Marine Corps, while also inspiring the next generation. Lieutenant Commander Thomas Zimmerman remembers watching the Blue Angels perform when he was 6 years old, while Lieutenant Commander Brian Vaught recalls a baseball game flyover sparking his interest in aviation as a child.
Hopefully there's a story out there for a kid who's going to come out to the Pocono Raceway Airshow and do something great with their life, and it's pretty cool to be a part of that.
With 2 days of the same action-packed show, this is an experience you won't want to miss. Stay tuned for more information about the Great Pocono Raceway Airshow, including other performances sharing the air with the Blue Angels.
I think if anyone can really sense as much fun as we're having with this thing behind us, it's totally worth getting some tickets and checking this out. It's going to be awesome.
And those tickets are on sale now at PoconoAirshow.com. Pricing starts at just $10 for kids 12 and under and $25 for adults. Of course, we'll be here covering all the fun during the Airshow Memorial Day weekend, followed by the big NASCAR race weekend in July. With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Brianna, so excited for this year's air show. My family and I went to the one 2 years ago. It was fantastic. So hopefully we'll see everybody at the Tricky Triangle this May.
Yeah, and don't forget, tickets are on sale now, so go grab yours on PoconoAirshow.com. And remember, there are events happening throughout our region all year long. Check them out on PoconoMountains.com/events.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching this January edition of Pocono Mountains Magazine. Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you next month.